Alright guys, welcome to the Rasslin podcast episode 3, week ending 26th of 10th, 2014. We don't live in America, we live in Britain, so it's the 26th day, the 10th month of 2014, and today, of course, we're going to do the normal Raw review, SmackDown we're going to talk about a bit, and then the main priority is Hell in a Cell predictions. What do I think of the Hell in a Cell match card? So without further ado, without further bullshit, let's get started. Okay, so Raw review. Well, the first segment, the Authority Open Raw. Now, this was a slightly good segment. It was alright. Wasn't too bad. I mean, of course, we're seeing Randy Orton, Cena, and when haven't I seen that? That's a brilliant, innovative idea. I've never seen. No. Back in 2007, when I was still a kid, I saw this match a billion times over. So, yeah, but at least there's a stipulation that Orton versus Cena, whoever wins that, is going to get a shot against Lesnar. That is really, really, really good. I mean, Orton bad-mouthing the Kansas crowd was quite funny, even though I had no clue what it was about because I'm not from America. But it was a very good segment. It wasn't too brilliant. I mean, Triple H's description of the Hell in a Cell. Yeah, okay, fine. A billion times you've said that. Alright. The next part of the entire thing, of course, was the Usos versus Sheamus and Goldust and Stardust and The Miz. Now, this was an alright match. I mean, Damien Mizdow was in it, and please don't get me started on what I think, how crap the WWE are using Damien Sandow. I mean, he could be one of the funniest heels of all time if he was a champion. He really, really could. And they've just ruined him. Can't you give him the US title or the Intercontinental or anything? You know, I know that I've waited for Ziggler to get a push, and he'll probably get a push after this Intercontinental Championship into probably a main title picture if they bring in another championship. It was a good match, I would say. It was quite a solid opening match. It was a very... What kind of match? How can I put this? It was just very fast-paced. That's all it was. It wasn't much anything special, just a great tag match. It was just run-of-the-board good tag match. And probably the most entertaining bit with Miz and Mizdow shouting, "I won." That was kind of entertaining. Yeah. Okay, so the next match of the entire thing, AJ Lee versus Alicia Fox. Wait. I'm looking for a fuck to give. No. Look, the match, for what it was good. For what it was a good match. But, here's the thing. The rivalry sucks. I said this last week, and I'm saying it this week. It sucks. It's terrible. It's such a boring rivalry. I don't know why Alicia Fox is involved in this. I mean, it's been dragged out for so long. I don't want to see Paige versus AJ Lee again. I don't want to see it. I want to see AJ Lee versus someone like Natalya. Natalya needs the championship. I'm sorry the Divas division is too boring. AJ Lee is a great wrestler. So is Paige. But the thing is, they need to give Natalya the title. She's worked for ages. She needs it. It's as simple as that. The match was boring as... Well, the match was good, actually, for what it was. It was just a storyline behind it that was ridiculously boring. And, of course, the next segment. Randy Orton, Cena, and Paul Heyman. This was a great segment. I loved it. Loved it. It was entertaining. Orton and Cena had great chemistry. They really did. I mean, of course, before this, Rollins and Orton had some backstage tension. And Orton telling Rollins to fuck off and all that stuff. And, of course, there's a whole history of Orton and Cena having that massive, massive rivalry and all this. And then Cena coming out and storming out and all this stuff. I mean, yeah, it was a good segment. And when Heyman came out, that was hilarious. I'm sorry, Heyman just adds brilliance to every single segment. An already brilliant segment, Heyman makes it even better. Cena, the only thing which I really don't like is the whole silly side. I hated it. Whenever Cena goes into dork mode. It's so irritating to watch. Give a, massive, intense promo, which you usually do. None of this silly crap. I mean, the RKO to Heyman was a massive, that was just so funny to watch. I love that part of the segment. The next one, Big E versus Rusev. Oh, this was very unpredictable. Of course, Rusev was gonna lose this. Oh wait, I mean, it was a good, it was an alright match, I would say. But really, the entire segment is when Rusev kind of kicked the crap out of the US serviceman. That's how you work a crowd. That is really how you work a crowd. Get the United States military, a military guy, to come out and just get kicked in the head. That's a great way to, promote propaganda to Russia. It really is. It's a brilliant way. So, really, that was a good segment, again. And when Big Show came out crying and all this stuff, Big Show played that segment brilliantly. I really, really liked it. That was probably one of the best segments on Raw for a very long time. So I like that segment. It added to the story of Russia being the bad one, even though that's not true. It's actually the USA being the bad one, but still. And yeah, good segment. The next one, Brie Bella versus Summer Rae. Not that I could care any less. I really couldn't, so let's not even get started. I'm not even going to bother talking about this one. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Mick Foley. That was quite good. I loved it. The whole thing with Dean Ambrose pulling out the dummy, that was really, really funny. That really was. Only Dean Ambrose could make working with a dummy actually look brilliant. And it added to the whole crazy gimmick. That was good. And then Rollins coming out and all this stuff. And then when I heard Mick Foley's music, I just completely marked out. I loved it. But Foley really sold this match brilliantly. He went so emotional, and I think he added a great amount of stuff to this promo. I mean, it wouldn't have been the same because the thing is, Rollins and Ambrose have never been in Hell in a Cell. So what they're going to say, I think it's going to be quite good. I think I'm going to kick your ass. And then, you've got a guy who's been in Hell in a Cell how many times, and as a legend as Mick Foley, to have that guy promoting your match, it adds a hell of a ton to the match. It was really, really good, and I love the bit. I even subscribed to WWE Network for an undisclosed sum. That was brilliant. So, and the whole thing with Foley saying that I see Rollins winning in most situations, but this is no ordinary situation. That was a good segment. That was a good part too. Rollins played the part of a heel really, really well. The next bit. Cesaro versus Ziggler. This was really, really good. This was a brilliant match. I really, really loved it. They've faced each other maybe 3 times, and they already have brilliant chemistry. What a brilliant, brilliant match. And the ending of the match was absolutely brilliant. I love the count. I love the wrestling. It was a good match. Do I want Cesaro to win the Intercontinental Championship? Yes. Yes. I know Ziggler's getting the push now, but if they bring another title, and I hope they do, then Ziggler can go for that. Cesaro needs a form of gold. He really, really does. He needs to hold some gold because he's been here for like 2 years or something like that, and he's been brilliant. He needs something to push himself, and that was my WhatsApp going off. Yep, it was. Anyway, so that's that. And then the next one was Orton. Of course, he came out. And Authority versus Dean Ambrose and John Cena. 3-on-2 street fight. This was good. I liked it. I really, really did. And I loved the segment before this with Dean Ambrose being called a Joker, because I really think he needs to bring out some sort of Joker gimmick as well to this, because he's brilliant. I really, maybe add a bit of a more sadistic voice to it, because Dean Ambrose's voice is kind of sadistic, but not as sadistic as it could be. Here's the thing. When the Hell in a Cell came down and Seth Rollins curb stomped the fuck out of Randy Orton, I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. Oh, that was so cool. Oh my goodness. It was. But then they didn't do anything. They didn't follow up with it. On SmackDown, they didn't even mention it. What was the point? There was no point. But I do think what's going to happen is Orton's just going to probably RKO Rollins in the middle of his match after his match is done. And he's going to go RKO Rollins, and Rollins is going to go bang, and then Dean Ambrose is going to win. Then I think Randy Orton's probably going to do a face turn, and this is what I think should happen. It should appear like a face turn where he helps Dean Ambrose win, and then the next night on Raw, he probably just goes and attacks a face. And he keeps doing this until he, reinstates the Viper gimmick where he just attacks anything that moves, heel or face. That's what I think. SmackDown, it was good. It wasn't bad, it wasn't brilliant. I mean, it was what an average SmackDown would be in this modern age. The best part of the entire thing, of course, was the ending segment when Dean Ambrose put Jamie Noble and the other guy through the table. That was quite good. That basically made SmackDown for me, and that should basically tell you how crap SmackDown usually is. And yeah, so that's the Raw and SmackDown review done. Let's go to Hell in a Cell. And this is the match card, so we're going to predict some stuff here. Big Show versus Rusev. USA versus Russia. Who will prevail? Well, the whole bad gimmick of Russia being the bad guy in the world is completely stupid, but it's very entertaining to see Rusev and Lana do this. And Big Show being the guy he is, he's always been, the face of the whole tribute to the troops and all this stuff. I think it wouldn't be bad if Big Show beats Rusev. I really don't think it would be that bad. Here's why I say this, because if Rusev loses to Big Show, then it would give Big Show some momentum, and Big Show really needs to do something. He needs something. And if Rusev wins this, Big Show will probably just fuck off, just like Big E did, just like Mark Henry did. So I think that if Big Show wins this one, it won't do too much harm to Rusev, because Rusev can then have a long, heated rivalry with Big Show. That's what I think. The whole Jack Swagger one was boring because it just lasted way too long. And there was really nothing more than we're patriotic and you're a risky. There was nothing more into it, so I didn't really like that rivalry too much. Ziggler versus Cesaro, WWE Intercontinental Championship match. This, I think, is going to be the show stealer. This will be, for me, in my opinion, this will be the best match in the entire night. And I think Cesaro is going to pull away with the win here. I think. Why do I say this? Because they realize the fact that Cesaro needs to hold the gold. He really needs to hold a form of gold. They'll probably have Ziggler go into... what I think will happen is Miz will probably win against Sheamus, and then they'll do a Ziggler versus Miz angle again. Because that was a very, very good... They had great chemistry in the ring, and I think that they could do a very long, heated rivalry. So that's what I think. Golden Stardust versus the Usos, WWE Tag Team Championship match. Again, I've seen this a billion times. I quite frankly don't want to see it again. Golden Stardust, really entertaining. Usos, brilliant in the ring. But it's just the match. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Goldust versus, Goldust and Stardust versus the Usos again. I don't want to see it. I've seen it, and it's entertaining when I see it, but for storyline purposes, it's just not a very viable match. That's what I think. Is there any other tag team? I would probably, if you're going to push Golden Stardust, I would have had them in the future face Big Show and Mark Henry. In the future, I'd probably do that. But right now, the fact is there's not really anyone, apart from the Usos and Golden Stardust, so there's not much they can do about it, apart from put on a really good match. And that's what they've been doing. They've always put on a brilliant match, and I can't wait to see this one. So the next one, AJ Lee versus Paige, WWE Championship match. Boring. Ridiculously boring. It's such a tragedy. They're gonna give AJ and Paige such a little time for their match. They're gonna say you have 10 minutes. Really, it's gonna be a rushed match. It's not gonna be good. I mean, seriously, what AJ and Paige can do in a match together, what they've shown so far, they can make it really, really good. But the fact is they need more time. And the fact is, it's boring now. This whole subject of best friend, not best friend is just boring as hell. But who do I think is going to win? I probably would think, because Paige has lost like how many times now? Here's the dilemma. If you have AJ keep it again, it's just AJ at the top of the Divas division constantly. If you have Paige win again, it's just a flip-flop. AJ Paige, AJ Paige, AJ Paige. It's boring. So I really, this match, it's got chronic AIDS. That's what it has. The next match, Sheamus versus The Miz. Can Miz win another mid-card title? This, I would say, is something Miz needs to do. Miz, I keep saying this, and it relates to every single match. Ziggler, Cesaro, Miz. Here's the thing, they need to put in another championship so badly, because you're going to have the feud for the Intercontinental, you're going to have the feud for the US title. You need something else to put in the other two guys, you really do. And to include the others, I think there needs to be two titles, as I've said before. A Cruiserweight title, and probably something like a television champion. And the television championship should be the second championship. It should be the one sort of which the upcomers will win, such as Ziggler, such as Cesaro, such as The Miz. That's what I think these are the guys should be winning it. Sheamus, and Sheamus really, realistically, should be in the title picture, but I'd love to see him more heel than face. The next one, Brie versus Nikki Bella. This is actually a hard one to predict. I mean, the stipulation, the loser has to be the other's personal assistant for the month. If the loser does not comply, they will have to leave WWE. I don't see Brie Bella leaving the WWE. I really don't. Nikki, I may see leaving the WWE for the personal reasons with Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan, of course, is going through this hard time, and he's just on his own, and he probably is depressed right now, so I'd probably see Nikki winning, and then Brie maybe leaving, but Brie leaving, I don't think they would do that. That's very unlikely, but if one of the two were to win and one of them were to quit, that's what I would say, but to be fair, I would much rather, I think what would happen would be Nikki winning and gaining revenge over her sister, and then Nikki basically saying you don't have to do much. That's what I would think. The next one, John Cena versus Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell. We haven't seen this one before, and it's a number one contenders match. Oh, goody brilliance. Oh, God. Yeah. I really don't want to see Cena win, because I don't want another boring ass... Well, it's not boring. It's not. The fact is, I've seen Cena versus Brock Lesnar twice twice quite recently. I've seen it twice, and I saw it in 2012. I've never seen Orton versus Lesnar. I've never seen it, and it would be a brilliant feud. Here's the thing, though: Cena versus Orton. The reason I'm alright with this match is because, quite frankly, they do it like once a year. Sort of, they drag it out once every 2 years or something like that. It's okay. I mean, I've seen it, but it's in Hell in a Cell. That's probably gonna add something to it. If you're gonna make this match interesting, please just make Orton look like a complete beast. Please just make him look like a complete sadistic weirdo and just beat the crap out of Cena, because I will probably not watch the next pay-per-view if it's Lesnar versus Cena. I really do. I just cannot be bothered to see 3 times Lesnar versus Cena in the space of 1 year. They did 3 times Rock and Austin. They did that over the space of 4 years or something. 4+ years probably, yeah. I think it was, WrestleMania 15, 17, and then 19. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They did 3 matches over 5 years. I don't want to see 3 matches in... No, if Cena wins this, and then he's going to have the future title match, he's going to have the 2 this year, and then he's going to have the one he had in 2012. That's 4 in what? 2015, 2014, 2013. 4 in 3 years. Boring. I don't want to see it. Please let Orton win this and actually just give him the push that he needs into the Viper push. Rollins versus Ambrose. I think it's pretty obvious. I think Ambrose is probably going to win this one. Because the thing is, Seth Rollins may be, he may be sort of buried a tiny bit if Dean Ambrose wins, but it's a massive feud, that's the thing. But he still has the Money in the Bank. That's the thing. He has Money in the Bank, and he can cash that in whenever he wants. Dean Ambrose needs this win, because otherwise he's a bit irrelevant, if you get what I'm saying. He hasn't had any gold or anything, so that's what I'm saying. How do I think this match is going to play out? I think Rollins is just going to get RKO'd at the end by Orton as revenge, and yeah. And Dean Ambrose is probably going to take that as advantage and then hit Dirty Deeds and win. That's what I think is going to happen in Hell in a Cell. It's an alright pay-per-view. It's not brilliant, but what can you do about it? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.